We're making Robin Schooling very happy.
But I can't change time. Are you talking about the change? Are you making fun of me for being menopausal? Just kidding. I was like, the change. I was sitting there.
It's our topic.
Oh, I forgot. Literally.
Clearly, we planned this out so well that you think this is about your menopausal reality.
I was literally like in bed sitting there, la 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 la. So I had my second appointment with like the hormone people, and they were like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing great." They're like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad." And then I was like, they used to call this the change. The change. Remember?
Yep, she's
all
going
those
through
shows like in
the
the
change.
80s that talking about the change of life. And I was like, I don't feel
The
very
change.
All I needed was like a little.
It was, and I think I've said this before, it was a very, very controversial topic.
Yes!
All in the Family did a whole episode on the change, and it was a big deal to talk about.
I remember, yes, it was. And let me tell you something. They did it on purpose. Let me tell you, because all I got is this little nickel-size sticker, and I got no changes. That's all. This whole time, for me.
People should get a button that says, back up, I'm going through the change. Like there should be maybe a club, a warning, something like that.
I think my sister, I was talking to like my mentor, and he was so funny. He goes, I don't know much about it. All I know, he's like, I have a wife, current wife and ex-wife, and all I know is that you get really hot and then you get really cold, and then you get really hot and then you get really cold. That's all I know. I was like, that is worthless.
I mean, hi, Kyra. Good morning.
Kyra, thank you, because literally
out of nowhere. Wow.
And so just in case this show is not necessarily about menopause, but I do think it's really important because
it is important. And I am obviously an expert. So let's discuss this.
Yeah, I can tell. Why don't you tell us about your experience with the change? Should we get your executive producer to talk about
let me just uterus, ovaries. Yes, I've said all the things that I know. Thank you.
And also and thank you for carrying the heavy bags. Like men don't do shit. Like, what are you talking about right now? Like, what is your purpose? Literally,
honestly, my support structure at home is I'm turning the fan on. Great, sounds good. That's right. I'm turning the fan off. Great, sounds good. That's what I do because I know yeah.
And I likewise, my executive producer, I'm hot. That means it's like a code. It's kind of like the new AI. When I say I'm hot, it triggers a whole lot of things, like turning on
whatever she needs. If we're in bed and she's like, yes. You got to get up and stretch. You got restless leg now because of this. Do what you got to do. Yeah.
Right. Yep. This morning I said, I hate everyone and I'm not getting out of bed, which triggered a cup of tea, a boiled egg, a little toast, some 90s R&B in the background.
Ooh.
I will tell you, true story.
Who were you listening to? Mario? Who were you listening to?
Look, who was that? Oh, sorry. My sister. But
your sister who knows that this is our show
every week. I mean,
can I just tell you something? It is fascinating that you're doing, because right now, concurrently, my executive producer is texting me about countertops. So I'm like, like these people know what we're doing.
They care a lot. I will tell you.
Look at Sean. Sean, first of all, buddy, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
I was going to mention you, my friend Sean Litjens. And my Vizier mug.
I would show you my Vizier mug, but I don't have one. So,
Sean, paging Sean, you better. 0 degrees outside, and I follow directions to open the window. No questions asked. 100%.
Good.
100%.
The thing is when you're going through various changes that are unexpected, some things you do expect, right? Yep. Like, oh, it's cold outside, or it's raining, or this or that. But there's things that you talk about. But for something that every woman goes through and will affect every man in some kind of capacity, for the fact that it's not talked about, all of the things. right?
Listen, and let me be equal opportunity advocate. Men, you got to talk about things that are changing in your lower hemisphere as well. You
Because
got to talk about the prostate. You got to talk,
you
like,
have
things are
to.
changing. You got to talk about it.
And then,
Little Willie won't.
I mean, Todd.
He won't go home like he used to.
Todd doesn't watch, right? So literally,
Since I said little Willie, let's talk
right.
about
Let's
Todd.
talk about that. So we were like, literally, we were having that
Todd.
conversation about Bob Dole and about erectile dysfunction. And
Oh,
we
yes.
were talking about that.
Oh my gosh,
right?
I forgot about
and
that.
it was like, yeah, it doesn't work all the time. But then we were having this conversation talking about menopause and then talking about erectile dysfunction. And then all of a sudden, Todd, like literally, like at lunch, he goes, I was like, oh, come on, let's go. He's like, nope. I was like, what? He's like, well, I don't know. I maybe was very upset that talking about the potential, and now I've got to sit here for a minute.
Correct.
And I was like,
by the way, not every lunch needs to have that for dessert. Just so you know.
I know, but that's what they say. But I mean,
the answer, Sean, is yes to your question. Thank you for this question.
Absolutely do. I just
feel you get business credits for this, by the way.
I mean, I've worked so hard to try to get, like, for people who are having families, benefits without ever considering, like, no, my brain isn't working because I'm too hot and I can't have a conversation and I'm sweating and nothing's wrong with me and I need to leave.
I know, and we're talking about change, but from an advocacy standpoint, for our millions of fans to know, both Jackye and I have been through various unspoken topics with our health in the lower hemisphere.
That's right.
And we have to be able to talk about them. We have to be able to, because if not, first of all, you feel very alone. Second of all, it's easy to feel less than. One of the, like, a body image thing is huge, especially for women when it comes to some of these changes going on, and the conversation is important.
It is so important because you do feel like you're going through it, and I didn't even realize. So, like, there's a documentary about Viagra. I think it's on Hulu, and the thing that was so,
of course, it's on Hulu
because,
and
well, that's a whole nother. Can we just, like, have a reality TV week, because there's lots of documentaries out right now.
Oh, well, tons of documentaries. Yes.
Did you see the one with the family that rehomed their child that they?
No, I can't watch that one. I can't watch it. I can't do it.
But, like,
I can't do it. I watched the Martha Stewart one that just came out.
Girl. I'm changing my name to Martha Stewart. Todd was like, you used to want to be Martha Stewart. So for those that don't know, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I literally was like,
making the beautiful things. You were making the beautiful things.
But I wasn't, though. And that's when I realized, yeah, you know what? Just be yourself. But I was like Martha is a badass. Like, I don't care. Like,
fascinating. This whole insider trading thing.
I did get very upset when she was like, "You're using the wrong knife." I was like, stop.
Yes. She was very stressed, though. She was about to go to prison. She was pretty stressed.
Well, don't commit crimes and you won't go to prison.
Don't commit crimes as a self-made billionaire woman because there's a whole lot of other people who are doing it who have.
But let me tell you, it should be a crime not to tell people when they're about to go, like, bankrupt. Like, it shouldn't be a crime to tell them.
Right. Like, hey, this thing that I've been building doesn't work. I thought I should let you know since you put money into it. I don't see why that's a problem.
Listen, me neither. I don't. But also because I don't math very well. My girlfriends came over and took me out of town this weekend, and I have to show you because we're talking about Martha Stewart.
Oh my gosh.
We did this thing that was like a cake and brunch thing. That's Sam. That's Felicia. Felicia loves it when I show pictures of her. That's after that. It was her birthday. We made cake.
What is this place?
So it was a brunch place.
That you make your own food?
You make your own. They teach you how to decorate cakes.
Interesting.
It was so much fun, and I am not Martha Stewart, but that is what the end.
But look at you, look so cute in that green.
I know, and it matched. And it says "You're hot" on the cake.
HAWT? Yes, look at you. We are so ridiculous. We are so ridiculous.
I know. And like, I don't know. We are ridiculous.
This is the year of change. This is the year of change. Why? Because every year is the year of change, right? Every year is the year of change. But there are some big things changing. So Sunday, we might see the change of access to TikTok.
Yeah, what's that?
Right?
Listen.
Now, what are we going to do with all?
We're going to take them offline on Sunday anyway. If you saw my post, where I'm like, that's a little dramatic. It's just a little dramatic. TikTok's like, we're not going to wait for you. We're just going to go offline so you can start realizing what that's going to feel like.
Let me ask you, from a talent acquisition standpoint, one of the things that I've been mulling over is there are, and I would say over the last, what would you say, 16, 18 months, huge push. Get your recruitment onto TikTok. That's where all the kids are. And get all your recruitment stuff there. Film crazy videos to show people how wonderful it is to work at your organization. And that's where what we've been told in our conferences is that TikTok represents the highest engaged platform at the moment for recruitment. You've got 3 minutes to respond. Go.
The reason people think everybody who's a recruiter is on the cringe channel, and everybody's just making fun of you.
Yeah.
The end. Thank you. Like you're an idiot.
Mr. Baldino, 2 minutes to rebut. Yeah. I mean, like,
right.
That's what we've been told. So now what would companies do if this is what they've put their entire stock into, is a program app that's going to be shut off on Sunday?
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. The thing that it does have, it's like people who try to go viral.
Yep.
People go viral because it's like a moment. It's like you get sick. It doesn't last. You don't want to be viral. You want to be able to be discovered.
Right.
Yeah. If you're doing social right, you're going to be on. Our producer. Did you give him?
I just want to tell you something. That's another story. Yes. But
thank God, because woo. Yes, like and subscribe. Hit the like button, and if you could give us a thumbs up, it really helps the channel.
Great.
Have you ever? Sorry, I forgot. We're not on YouTube right now.
Yes.
But if you're doing social right, you're already on all the platforms, and it shouldn't be that big of a push. Whatever everybody is going to, you're on it already.
But
that's
now,
the thing that you have to remember.
So change continuing in social media. Facebook made their changes to the fact checking. Obviously, there's lots of feelings.
But I mean, like we said, they weren't doing it anyway. Like,
I know they weren't doing it.
They weren't.
But you've got, so again, think about this in a short period of time from a social media standpoint. TikTok potentially going away on Sunday. Facebook not fact checking. X and the Elon Musk connection.
Right. We've got Blue Sky.
Right. Which,
oh my God, are we like?
But is Blue Sky the next Threads, where it's hot for 48 hours and then it goes away? What is it that people should think about?
Now, I think, there's the other one that people need to talk about, Lemonade. So it's like if Instagram, Pinterest, and TikTok had a baby with Martha Stewart, it would be Lemonade. It would. Everyone go to Lemon and the number 8 online. Very cute. Blue Sky is very difficult to try to engage. They're coming out with another photo app similar to TikTok, because there are people that are like, F you Facebook, F you Instagram, F you Threads.
Yep.
They're going to go full Blue Sky because of the connection.
Yep.
So
Blue Sky's got to get better with the
They
name
have to
though.
get
I
better.
can't that I don't like
Well,
the handles
the
dot
whole
blue
handles are
sky dot ugh.
ridiculous, right? The handles are gross. What I don't know. It's like there's too much going on.
28 characters just for your
Yes.
handle. That's
Remember
crazy.
back in the day when you would get an email address and it would be like Johnny B11778 and they had nothing to do with any like they
Correct.
would assign
It was an assigned electronic email address. Yeah, electronic mail address.
ridiculous. And they're like dot John.
So do you think talent acquisition should, if they have a heavy social media plan in how they advertise their jobs, how they recruit,
I would say if they don't,
what do you think? Should they move off of it?
I think that you need to be able to be there and be consistent because you're trying to be found in any places where there's people. I just think that people do this badly anyway. Like these are the same people that want to go viral. When you're saying, do a crazy video, tell people blah, blah, blah. You're not being true to your brand. I was about to write, your employer brand is a scam because it's like, just stay to who you are because I need to know who I'm going to work with, the things that they're going to be involved in, and it should be available. You should be consistent regardless of the platform. So my advice is making sure people know what's available, giving them a little bit of a day of the life on all of the channels.
But that's what, bless you. That's what was happening on TikTok is a lot of organizations were doing videos on a day in the life. So if TikTok goes away, would you say just go to Reels and do those things instead?
Just say, and that's the thing that I'm saying. Like you don't know because it's the algorithm. Like it's not because of you. I know. I mean, you have a great marketing team, great ideas, great video. You're fully owned by the algorithm and the people that work at these different socials, and you don't know what they're doing one day. I would say this. Pull out your socials. You're going to get 2 views, 3 views, sometimes 25 views. And there will be a day when you get 325 views. You will be like, oh my God, take that, invest, because the algorithm, it's already there, will get you the people that you're looking for and get very specific. And I also say, implement a pay-per-click, recruit to the one, your best like person that you're looking for, and put that on your ads to make sure that you're getting the content. But you don't want people who think you look funny in a dress. You're looking for software developers. So be very specific with that and make it the same on every channel, because as soon as I see that you're on Reels, I'm going to the other socials and I want to see if it's any different. And that will be your campaign and you'll be fine.
No one wants to see what you say, a man in a dress. Is that what you just said?
That's not what I said.
What did you say?
I'm saying you
rewind this.
You don't want the person who's like, oh, look at this skit. Like you're not looking for the person who's like, oh, I really like your shoes. That's not helpful. Going viral.
And that's the only time that happens in the company, by the way. Right. Now, I will say, I do want to make sure Sean has given everyone an idea to go back to Netscape. Not so sure that I would recommend that. Probably not the pathway to respond to this change with. I wouldn't do that. But thanks, Sean, for your participation. But what I would say when it comes to change, though, is you talked about algorithms. Those things are ever moving, right? So it is an entire investment of time and resources to keep that mechanism pumping things out to the level it needs to in order for it to have some kind of ROI, some kind of return on all this time. And if you're not seeing it, I don't know if it's worth it.
I will tell you, no. And one of the things that I've been playing with, much to John and Jamie's chagrin, is getting our long content, chopping it up, putting it on little things. I've been doing it a lot, trying to.
No, I like it. Some of them are hilarious. We don't share the ones that are hilarious, but
some of them, the algorithms don't work. AI is not taking.
Or it would be damaging to our like long-term reputation. That's
Well, it'll be good long term. In the short, maybe not. But I can tell you, like I said, all of a sudden something will get picked up. One of the things that I've been using Jamie said more for blackmail. Yes.
100%.
Oh,
We
I've
have
got
lots, tons of blackmail. It's
including
hard.
all of John
Horrid.
pics, his pool pics. And if you could see the picture of the feet this weekend, oh my God.
Those pool pics get me in so much trouble. Gosh.
Because who does that? I'm going to start. Please don't stop them.
It's really just to make everybody jealous. I mean,
really
that's the only reason I do it.
It is so hard to explain when we're at a restaurant with another couple that I'm looking at a picture of this guy and it's John and but I digress.
I get a lot of phantom DMs from people saying, I love this picture. I've been looking for someone like you. Can we chat? And I'm like,
XOXO, Todd.
Todd, first of all, stop peeking on his phone.
First of all.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, Jamie, if you only knew what happened. Yeah, can't. But there are, in terms of, I would say, some of the things that I've been seeing as far as change because of social media. And it's funny because I'm giving Sean a hard time, but I know he's making some comments. We're thinking similarly in the sense of I would say we probably have had some breakdown because of social media over the last couple of years in really paying attention to the true persona.
That's right.
Of who either we're going after, if it is part of our recruiting strategy, or if it's part of our client prospecting strategy, who we're going after, who are the people that we want to engage with this content we're putting out. That has changed a ton. It is
like, there's another part of this that is so important and why the personas is there, because you want to be able to own where your message is going. And to think that it just does things on its own is very naive. When you're doing no. And you need to be able to control that narrative. That's why it's important for you to build a community and have your own pages so you can see who's interacting and also see the personas. I'm going to write, I'm working on an article right now called The Myth of the Cultural Ad, because there is a culture fit that you're missing if you're not breaking it down by persona, regardless if you're the most inclusive environment in the world. If you work at a startup, there's a certain culture that you're looking for. And so how do you do those things? You need to be able to, for example, I look at startups a lot, or people that are starting multiple companies under one umbrella. You want people that will do on purpose activities where they have to stand out individually and put themselves at some kind of risk. That could be golfing, stand-up comedy, public speaking. They're a clown on the weekends. Like anything where they're dependent on themselves and willing to take the risk.
No clown on the weekends. Speaking of clown on the weekends, hi Josh, welcome.
Take away the ability to click to John if you put one more thing on the freaking. You can't put listen.
It was like you said, like being a clown on the weekends, and Josh said,
right?
Josh said, "What up, friends?" I was like, "This is meant to be."
It is fate. It is fate.
Well, it is the one thing that I think is not changing. Probably people are going to double down on more this year. Again, as I see it, is this multiple streams of existence and revenue. This side hustle, these I'm investing in some other things in order, so I may not necessarily be the one directly doing the side hustle, but I'm investing in some side hustles that are happening, bless you. And so I don't want, I just had a conversation with number one son. That's an old reference for some people. If you know what I'm talking about when I say number one son, we can join the home together.
That's right.
Number one son said, I don't know that what I want to do long term yet. And I said, I don't know that you have to make that decision the way that I felt like I had to when I was your age. I think it's very different now. I think you can do for right now, for the next year, with a little bit of this on the side and a little bit of that perhaps next year. And I still think the environment allows for that kind of flexibility. It's not going to work for all people. That's not what I'm advocating for. I'm just saying there's room for it.
I think I just got emotional. I think people need to be able to go through and just knowing the options that are out there are different than they were before. This is something that is, I think, a result of what we started during COVID, where people were like, oh, I can make bread. When people are like, let me try and experiment with different things. And I think they're finding more exciting things. We're digging in a little bit more. If you go and look at a lot of the people that are posting I'm quitting YouTube right now, they're all people that started during COVID and was never intending to be, go viral. And they all have like channels that are outside of what they normally would have done. Like it has nothing to do with their job. Like I have a singing channel and I'm a software developer, or I'm but they also have more, I feel like there's a value creator economy right now where I'm, doing those things. And
you need to register that term. Value creator economy. You better put that, honestly, get that in Wikipedia today that it's yours.
You can, okay, hold on. I'll be right back.
Write it down. You won't remember. You know what we're like. Value creator economy.
That's right. So,
and nobody on this watching this.
Nobody will do it, right?
Nobody take Jackie's stuff.
Okay. Yeah, please don't do that.
Girl's trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. Everybody give her a break. Come on.
You have something there to offer. I was telling someone and they got really a little bit upset with me. And I was like, because I was saying there's no excuse at this point for you to not be more than what you are right in this moment. There is absolutely no excuse. Today's lower class is the average. You went to high school, you went to college, you got your degree, you're a specialist in what? Boom. Then you are of no value. The real value will be who can get the attention, because it's so difficult with all of the noise.
Tons of
there
noise.
Is absolutely no reason. So I'm going to say this really fast and we're not going to discuss it until a later time.
Okay.
So I found out I'm leaving Textio at the end of the quarter. And on Friday night, I was sitting in bed. I was like, you know what? I've been working on people puzzles to make this journal. So I decide, let me just try to do the app. On my own personal business plan, I see it coming a year from now. So I'm typing, 25 minutes later, I have a prototype to an app.
Yeah.
No code, not hiring anything, completely free. They asked me if I want to post it on the iOS store. One of the things that happened from that is there's an AI for that. When you sign up, they're like, what kind of things do you want to do? You type it into, there's an AI for that. Then they give me credit instantly on the site. So I already have an app that's up on, there's an AI for that I created in 5 minutes.
Wow.
So right now, you need to decide right now if you're going to be a part of this, because you are going to get left behind by the end of first quarter. I just saw an Instagram post that was like, oh, entrepreneurs, you're going to need a marketing. Sign up for this AI. We'll do lead generation, social media management, email management. I'm using an app called Superhuman. I'm never opening my email again. It pops up and says, this looks important. Anytime. And if you know me, I have a personal assistant because I have over 200 unread emails that I have to pay somebody to read. She's getting fired. Tell her. I'm just kidding. Kidding. I can't get rid of her. If there's anything that I'll be homeless with a personal assistant. But
That's the greatest line. I'll be homeless with a personal assistant.
That's right.
What in the
She'll
world?
tell me, she'll be like, you have to go to this tree.
Listen, and I totally love that you're sharing this, and we will discuss the one piece at a later date. But the thing that you shared, though, in the sense of how quickly you can build an app, how quickly AI steps in and just like people don't fully appreciate that because, and I don't mean that in a negative towards people. What I mean is the technology has evolved and changed so rapidly that I think, there are things that can be done right now that couldn't be done a year ago, that couldn't be done 6 months ago. That's how fast it's moving.
If you go to vidIQ, this part is sick to even imagine. It'll say, oh, for us, our show, they say, you have a good thumbnail, but you should change it. Do you want to use your own personal images? Upload a picture. I'm like, sure. I upload a picture of me and John. The pictures are crap, but there's a likeness of us within 30 seconds that it's developed based on the topic that we had. Our content.
You didn't show me this.
Because they're really bad.
Are they bad? Do I have a shirt on though? That's really what matters. Do they know me? Is my shirt on or off?
I like it. John has sent us pictures this weekend of feet being a whole big toe and with hair. I want it. It's this
veto.
You hadn't even started drinking yet.
I mean, I am not, and I told my executive producer about that, and she was like, I don't want to be a part of any of that. So I'm
trying to explain it. Like, what do y'all do? Obviously, we talked to our executive.
I'm wetting my pants laughing, and she is like, no, thank you.
They're like, I don't even know. I don't even care. When I start I think it's a little sound of my voice where Todd's just like, keep it there. He knows too. He'll pull out our matching pajamas and he'll be like,
nope, no, thank you. Exactly right.
It is changing, and it is not the time.
Jim, what's up, buddy? We are so glad that you're here. I'm glad you're here for it, buddy.
Jim.
We need to see you, Jim. We need to see you.
The thing is, it's like the part to remember, this is like people who want to work out or people who don't want to work out.
Correct.
The people who aren't doing shit, who haven't used Google up to this point to do anything online, they're not using any of this stuff.
Right.
But those of us, the world that it opens up is for the people that are ready. They already know. They've explored this stuff and they just need a little nudge, just a little bit of learning. And boom, I'm taking a class on how to build an app from a company because I went on ChatGPT and I was like, which one? What's the cheapest, easiest app to use? They said this one. I go to that website. They teach a whole class on how to build an app, all of the things in the background.
I mean,
it's 2 weeks. I'll be like building apps.
Listen, do you remember? Let me give everyone a little bit of context here, and some of you will remember this, maybe some won't. But when Al Gore invented the internet, I'm sorry, I can't help it.
We're there.
I was there, me and Al. Early days internet with website development, you would pay tens of thousands of dollars for a website to be developed. Some of y'all may remember that. Tens of thousands of dollars to develop a website. You can do it for nothing
for
6
free.
minutes for $0. Yes.
One of the things that I start in my career on how I started going I used to be a business analyst, and it was because the first project I worked on was a multimedia presentation showing how to use Remedy, which was the help desk app that we used at the time.
Oh my gosh, I remember Remedy. Holy cow.
I'm pretty sure the Love Boat was still on the air. Like, it was a long time ago.
I still watch on the weekends Pluto TV. I'm telling y'all.
And
Pluto TV. Whole channel of Love Boat. Go ahead, keep going.
So when we were hired to do a multimedia presentation for the opening to the director of IT's presentation in-house. It took us a full week. We were working, we slept an hour and we were up for 2 hours. Like we just kept rotating like that. It took 2 days to render a ship going like this.
Oh, yes.
And we did the Star Wars thing going on.
Yes. Oh, and you were big stuff then, by the way.
That's right.
Big
That is
stuff.
absolutely. And let me tell you, I could do it. I don't even have to type anything to do it. We had to get a book.
Crazy.
We had to study. We had to build a local network.
Oh, you did?
We built a network in our house, a board with 4 different computers because it was the only way to get it going. We had to have an external hard drive. These are things that people can't even.
Correct.
In my lifetime, we've gone to that, to having more power right here and being able to connect with anyone in the world.
There is more power in your smartphone than was in the original computer that filled an entire room.
That's
right? Much more.
And you have access. And I'm telling you, do it now before people realize, and it's coming sooner than you think, that you can block these things together. Yeah, multimedia. What?
I know.
I don't know. I mean,
I know.
Multimedia. Is that
but
even?
I'm going to tell you, good morning, George, by the way. I'm going to tell you, this is a very interesting thing that you're bringing up, because let's talk about the pace of technological advancement and sort of traditional methods of content delivery. What do I mean by that? I think about things like conferences, local meetings for various professional organizations. We can no longer put something on a thumb drive and just pop it into a laptop, because we're using technology. Everything's not PowerPoint. I give a outline into Canva and it gives me the initial framework of all the slides for everything that I've just uploaded into it. Guess what? If I can't, some of them are getting smart enough. If I can't do it through Canva and I just download it as a PowerPoint, my fonts may be off. All the cool little multimedia pieces go away because PowerPoint can't handle what's happening on these platforms.
That's right.
Right.
But
so
you can do it on your own. They found, if you go to YouTube, you can Google meet the teenager that broke TikTok or whatever. He went and built an app to download the top most popular apps, figured out the algorithm. They were like, "Oh, did you copy it?" He goes, "Well, it's not exact." He's a millionaire because he just copied somebody else's stuff, and he learned it on the internet. On the internet, access. And so the thing is, it's so fast. These are going to be the expectations, just like understanding Microsoft Office is an expectation. Knowing how to build these spreadsheets is an expectation.
So you put on your skills on your resume, Excel advanced, Word advanced. That's the expectation. Take it off your resume. It's the expectation, right? It is. And again, this is not meant to be dismissive of the efforts that people have put in to get to the place that they are with some of those skill trainings that they've done. But the pace of technology is moving so quickly, you've got to handle what change is going to look like. And quite frankly, it is also influencing the way in which teams are functioning.
That's right.
And so how are you moving forward from a change perspective in how teams are? I don't mean teams, Microsoft Teams. I mean within an organization, how people are working together. The whole idea of collaboration, think about a distributed workforce. I mean, I was obsessed with Trello when I could move things across the screen, like Post-it notes that move. Yeah, because I have a great satisfaction of completion of things. Checklists, I'm wired that way. I write lists, I check things off. I feel very good about myself. But I'm going to tell you, if you're, and no shade to Trello, if that's it, you're missing it. There's so much more happening in how teams can collaborate.
Cortex. If you go look, it's Kortex is what I've been using. And it's kind of like Notion for, I know,
Yeah.
aren't you dead with that?
I mean, first of all, 12 words a minute, Jim. I know you're being funny. I wish that were fun. There are resumes I've seen that are people are like
Yes.
30 WPM.
My
30.
favorite. It says 60 and it's a lie. Like we know.
I could type with my one big hairy toe 30 words a minute.
You don't even have to anymore. I just do this. And ChatGPT is like, here's your recipe for lasagna. I'm just like, and there's like, oh, Jackie must be looking for for some song lyrics again.
I just go.
Try it. Yeah. Listen,
Jamie, that GIF has to be created right there of Jackie going.
Please don't. I will say, what the days of being comfortable with your skills at a job, I quit. I hate all of you when I quit. Why?
I know.
Just so you know.
You cannot be complacent.
You have, and that's why when I said it, and I kind of like stopped talking about it, about when I was like, these are for people who like to work out. It's the same mindset. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and learning and doing something new and pushing past your boundaries in order to do what you did yesterday.
Yep.
Understand, you can't go in and say, oh, I know pivot tables, but not know that there's a full app that will build the full pivot table for you. Your pivot table ability means not one thing to me.
VLOOKUP. I'm like, I just tell Copilot. Copilot takes care of the whole thing, right?
I mean, right. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Yes. So those of you that used to be able to be like, and I tell people like I have a very specialty background. If you don't use your brain and you're used to just doing, I mean, to 25 people, I'm very rare.
Round chicken.
The rest have no use to me. I'm like a scrub mama. Like, who cares? Did you know there was a scrub mama? No, you didn't know.
Let's be, and I think I'm going to call out some people who I've seen so far: Sean and George and Jim. If I miss somebody, I apologize, but those three came to mind right away. There is great value, and I think these three would agree with me. And if you don't say anything. I think they'd agree with me in that I still think there's great value in understanding why it works, right? So if you're still going to go through the process of learning VLOOKUP and pivot tables and all that good stuff, I think that's appropriate. I don't think we're saying not to understand that.
We're saying that there is understand that while you're learning the evolution of technology, because it's going faster. Because listen to this, the app, I was using this thing called Glide, Glide. Glide.
You use everything. You use everything.
That's right. So I was using Glide. Glide work. I'm not even paying attention to him.
I am. Glide. You know I adore him. Good morning, Greg. I adore him.
Oh, what? Glide uses Google Sheets.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And so you know Google Sheets, right?
Like I know Google Sheets, but I was able to build it using something. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you do need to understand that the technology, what it is, because they don't tell you that you're doing SQL when you use Excel. Like, they don't tell you that you're using, like, back in the day.
Well, that's what people are telling you. We don't use AI. Honey, did you type that in Word? Word uses AI. What are you talking about? Like, it's crazy to me. I think Robin had a meeting. I don't think Robin's on with us this morning, but Robin would be like doing spins in her chair, probably 2 before she'd fall off, but she'll do a couple of spins in her chair. Cause I'm going to say, y'all need to go back to Cotter just for a little bit. Welcome back, Cotter, just for a smidge. And refresh yourself. Just refresh your Arnold Horshack. My gosh, I'm ancient. Refresh yourself on the 8 rules of change, the process of change. I think it's important. Not everything is going to do all 8. I'm not advocating as if that's the only framework for change in your organization. I know some of you use the Google rules and some other I get it, but my encouragement in it is we also have to teach people how to embrace change and be ready for change and where they might be in the process of change, and give them a roadmap through something that has been proven, right? It's been studied. This pathway will be helpful. Is it applicable to every change? It's not what I'm saying, but start with some things, because people, I think we've forgotten that change, we'll say things like change is hard, but it doesn't mean change is impossible. And somewhere along the way, some of us have kind of said, like, I find this a lot with being in my 50s. There are times where it's comfortable in conversation with people around my age, where we're like, well, this is what I know, and that's as good as it's going to get. And we almost sound like these young kids, right? Get off my lawn.
Stay off my lawn.
And we can't afford to be. Like, we really have to be thoughtful about change.
But it's fair. The thing is that we looked at older generations and we gave excuses to people that were over 50 as not being able to learn.
Mr. Carter. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I just thought of a whole episode when he was like trying to get pregnant and his wife. I was like,
oh, that was a hard one. Yes, that was a hard one.
But the thing is, we used to give a pass and say, oh, well, they haven't been in school in a long time. They haven't learned anything. They're from a different generation. That's absolute bullshit right now. If you are ignorant at this point, it's on purpose. Like, you just don't want to. So that's why it's like, when I was talking to my friends, and it was like, you have so much, me personally, that you can achieve right now. And the first thought was, but I don't want to.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to go lift weights, and I don't want to run in the morning. And it's like,
no one wants to run in the morning.
No one wants to run in the morning. I'm doing it. Like, I do it, and it's 30 degrees, and
no one wants to run in the morning.
Nobody wants to do it. But you have to. Like, you're going to have to, because you are going to be left behind so fast. I remember when Kieran at Textio, as soon as like the generative AI came out publicly, was like, I got my PhD in natural language processing. It just became obsolete.
Totally.
Overnight.
Yep.
Worthless. It's not worthless, but you know where.
Yeah. You need a moment to grieve that, by the way. Let's be human for a second. I don't think change requires any of us to forget that we're human.
No.
That's a hard lesson to see something that you spend a ton of time learning how to do be irrelevant.
I did a presentation.
That's hard.
It's very hard. The presentation I did was about change, and it's called I Don't Understand, I Don't Like It, I Don't Like You. I was like, these are the stages of change.
Correct.
Like, at first it's like, I don't know why I have to make this change. And then I don't like the change that you're asking me to make, because I don't want to. It's really not the instant thing that you're moving. It is the whole landscape and of discomfort. And then I don't like you for making me, like when my kids blamed me for COVID, and that's why they had to stay in the house.
Which honestly was a reasonable response from them. I want to make sure.
And I'm still not over it, as you can tell.
Thanks, TJ. Appreciate your commentary, right?
Love you. Just got his driver's license, but that's another story. But we have to be able to recognize you can grieve. It makes sense to grieve.
It does make sense.
It's logical to grieve, but grieve on your phone, looking up an app and getting ready for the next stage.
Yes.
That's all.
I don't know who this LinkedIn user is, by the way. You all know sometimes it comes through that way. So whoever just typed that, if you want to also type your name, that'd be great.
As an older generation, speak for yourself, honey. What do you mean? What are you even talking about?
I mean, first of all, Rachel, good morning.
Hi.
Yeah. They think we have power over things that are negative, but if it's something good, they're like, well, I did that.
Nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Right. Nothing to do with me. It's like, this is the only thing I am leaning in on and trying to.
I don't think it'll all come through. Yeah.
Younger people embrace. People actually brag about not looking at tech for an entire flight. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. Hi,
Oh, hi,
Jeremy. I was hoping it was someone
Jeremy.
else.
We have to talk.
We've got to
Jeremy
talk
got a
now.
grandchild, and he's like, "Screw
And
you,
he
Jack.
has
I have
no
no,
friends anymore. He doesn't
no
care
friends.
about
No,
anyone.
no. He doesn't like
And he gets
talk about
angry because
TikToks
he'll
with
post
me.
pictures of the grandchild. And
He doesn't
if you
send
don't
me
give a heart,
Facebook
he gets
posts
angry.
anymore.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yep.
gossip with me. He used to. Now he probably tells all his secrets to that little baby.
Well, what I've heard though is that little baby doesn't blabber the way that some people he was sharing his secrets with were.
You know
I
what?
yes. Jeremy said yes.
But I'm lonely, dear.
This is I love this conversation because I just want it to be like encouraging. I know it sounds like a whole lot because change is tough, but I hope it's an encouragement because there's no way around it. I know that's so trite, right? Change is going to happen. But George, that I shared a little bit ago, is right. It's either going to happen with you or through you. Like this momentum is happening. And I have sat with people. And for those who are unfamiliar, I've been 30 plus years in the dealing of humans. And there are people who spend a whole lot of time being mad that it's not different.
That's right.
Just mad. And I'm like, okay, I'm not taking away from the fact that it's upsetting or you wish it were different. Totally get it. What are we going to do now? And it's so difficult for that person to move forward because they're very comfortable in the I just wish it were like it was.
Let me tell you,
Right? That is a tough, you got
that
to
is
get out of
really
that.
tough.
Yeah.
But on the other side of this, if you have a phone, I love it when David walks in the room.
David, hey, David.
If you have a phone, you have access to more education than for free.
For free.
Than you would have gotten 10 years ago.
Yeah.
At school.
You know, it's funny. I was listening to to someone yesterday as I was running begrudgingly, and because that's how everyone runs.
That's right, like this.
And the person said, YouTube has ruined being neighborly.
Really?
And I thought, tell me more.
Yes.
Like I wanted to hear more. And he unpacked this concept of there was a time pre-YouTube where you might knock up to Jim next door and say, Jim, like my sink's all backed up. Do you know how to do any plumbing or anything? And Jim would be like, well, let's look at it together. And the two of you, and he was very funny in what he was sharing. He was like, the two of you would go over back to your house and take apart the sink, and neither of you knew what you were doing, but you were doing it together. And then you eventually had to call a plumber to actually come and really fix it. But you had that common experience then with your neighbor, and you would laugh about it. Or then Jim would have an issue with something else and you'd go over to help Jim. He's like, once YouTube came out with everybody showing you how to do the things, we can stay in our walled cities, like our own homes with our 10 feet high fence, and we don't really need to talk to anybody else. We don't have to knock up for help with anything that we're doing because we just go to YouTube now and watch how-tos. I thought it was really, really interesting. And his point was, now you've got to be more deliberate. It's fine if you're going to use YouTube, but if you're really interested in building relationships, right? If you don't want to be so closed off from the world, you've got to step out in a different way to get to know your environment.
And you have to do that.
Right.
By the way, I think LinkedIn user added yourself. You just outed yourself, LinkedIn user, that you listen to Joe Rogan.
I will tell you, it wasn't Joe Rogan. So if he said it as well, I didn't listen to Joe Rogan. I promise.
Look at George. I'll catch you up. It's the plumbing episode. Also, look, hold up your ring finger. Are we married?
We do match. We do.
It's because we work out, by the way. These are workout.
Yeah. Well, I don't wear it to work out.
I wear mine to work out because mine is like, this is my running ring that I got when I went out of it.
Where'd you get them from? Amazon? That's where I got a 4-pack.
No, I don't know. We got it at the Waco running store.
Oh no, I got these from 4-pack at Amazon for like $10. And the gold ring that I actually got married with sits in a drawer. And I
Mine
never
is
wear.
in the box, the same box that we got.
These look at that picture of you from
that. First of all, that literally could be me in like 3rd grade. Second of all, where's the sauce? Where's the sauce?
There's no sauce on the lasagna.
Not enough sauce on that lasagna.
What custom apron? He's making it into an Butter's Coffee apron of you with lasagna. It needs some red sauce on it though, Jamie, before you go with it.
Thank you for doing that, since I am gonna be homeless and I need to be able to pay for my personal assistant.
I mean,
boss. I love
Joe. Good morning. And walk around an airport and purposely say hi, howdy, good morning, good day to everyone you pass by. You'd be surprised how many actually wake up and smile. 100% agree. I love when Joe is here.
I have to tell you a funny story. I know we only have 9:56.
Joe, we need to have drinks soon, Joe, by the way. That's an aside.
Yeah, we do need to.
No, I didn't invite you.
Oh, I'm going. He likes me better anyway.
He does. That is absolutely true.
So Friday night, I can't even tell this story. I'm not going to tell you. It was great. Just know this. We're going around seeing people locally that we know we've run past, and it is like changed our life. Yes, talk to people.
It's funny too, because you would be surprised how much they're paying attention to exactly that point. So Vero Beach is not a big town. Right. And so I have run into people and they're like, do you work out at Planet Fitness, or, you know, did I see you at the, coffee shop over here? Were you? And I had someone at the gym say to me a couple weeks ago, were you running on Oslo Road on Saturday? And I was like, yes. And he was like, I'm not stalking you. He's like, I was leaving my girlfriend's and I just was driving by and noticed that you were running. And I'm like, yeah, I was.
They saw your calves and they were like, who is that?
I mean, I didn't have my shirt on. So people were like, accidents everywhere. People were like, my gosh, his pectorals. Look at that.
That's right. They were like, oh my, that is a fine looking pectoral.
That is a average looking 50-some-year-old. Oh,
we found out one of Todd's students was like, oh yeah, I see you every day with your wife running. And he was like, what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you run outside, people are going to observe you. Somebody. So,
it's like that's the other skill. You're not going to do any good learning all these things in your house. And then when you're going to try to explain it, you can't.
Right. The whole relational piece is another change that I think people have to sort of double down on this year. It's probably time to do a little self-reflection. I been sort of
down. Clarity is currency. Write that down.
Go ahead.
Clarity is currency.
That needs to be a journal cover.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Hi, this is Jackye from People Puzzles. We're working on journals for ADHD friendly like me.
And it's going to say clarity is currency on the front?
I think it should.
Okay, I'm all right with that.
If I can remember that.
You got to write it all down. We should probably rewatch our own episodes because we find out so much stuff that we forgot about that we were so good about.
You know, it's 9:59.
It's crazy that this hour we always say goes by so quickly.
This hour in television.
I do want to let's do a shout out or two though. Do you have anything coming up that people should be either reading or watching? You doing any other webinar?
Well, I want people to sign up. I'm calling it the People Puzzle Collective. It's a newsletter that I've been working on. I'm very proud. I have 62 signups. And so I really
you annoying thing.
62 subscribers, but writing those various things to follow along the journey as I'm building this ADHD friendly planner and executive planner that I've been working on. So that's really great. Make sure you're following that.
I am, and for those of you who might be in, I'm looking at my calendar up on the wall.
Yeah, I know.
For those of you who might be in the West Palm Beach area, next week. Tuesday night, I'm going to be speaking at a Palm Beach SHRM chapter. I had a call with them this morning before we got on, and they were so excited. And I love this. They have triple the number of people that normally come, and they had to change the room in the venue in order to fit everybody, which is so fun for them. I'm glad. It should be a fun time. And they're with the new room that they moved to, there's still some room. So I think it's on the Humoriso site if you're around in Florida next week to do that.
And listen, there's going to be lots of things coming up. Life is changing very, very fast. And I'm just like, I'm still stunned.
Rachel is excited for all of it.
Thank you. And I'm just leaning in to my ADHD and trying to use these as something that's going to benefit, right?
Yes. Joe, look at how Joe,
that was the best.
This will change the way that you approach the day. He's totally right. Look, y'all, we love you. Thanks for spending some time with us this morning. Have a great day. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.